we shouldn't feel we're inadequate to AI. That's it. We should not feel that we are inadequate to Auntie, to AI, to Instagram or anything else. It is a way of knocking our confidence, but at the same time, we can use it to our advantage. And that they say, oh, well, AI says or Google says. I was like, that's great, but Google hasn't got the whole picture and it hasn't sat down with you for 40 minutes or an hour, or whatever it is, to discuss what's going on with you.
Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. If you want to connect with me, always check the show notes because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments. Now, let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How the devil are you? And welcome to Strategy Lab and Strategy Lab members. How are you getting on since we've changed over? Are you enjoying the change? I've had a few comments, mostly from the Katies. So many Katies. We had a conversation about Katies, and I was told today I am now an honorary Katie because I've got quite a few in the group. But if your name's not Katie, you can still join. So what have we got and what are we talking about today? So what we're talking about now is the impact conversation. So we've done our finances, we've looked at our money, and now we're onto the impact of what we're doing and how we're doing it. And one of the big things coming up for us as naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, people in solo practice or working for somebody part-time or, doing the part-time gig. What's coming up for us a lot at the moment is AI and the AI conversation. So it's not just Instagram that's impacting us. It's not just the auntie telling our client whatever, all the well-meaning relatives telling our clients whatever and telling us whatever. We've now got AI into that as well. So I wanted to talk to you about the impact of what we do and how these things are affecting us, but at the same time, they're not. Because we are the practitioner. We can see the person directly opposite from us. We're going to give them a different response. AI is going to give them that super positive, oh, you're doing so well, aren't you amazing? What a great idea, all of this nonsense stuff. Whereas in actual fact, they're going to say, oh, you really need to, take turmeric or something. I agree, they'll say to the person, take turmeric. Meanwhile, they don't know about all the different styles of turmeric, what would be best for that person. They might say the question of what's going to suit you better, a liquid or a tablet? And then it's what the algorithm is going to bring up. At the end of the day, turmeric's lovely, but it might not be what our client needs, or they might need it in a different form. And we're the only ones who are going to know that. It doesn't matter how much Instagram or Facebook or iHerb or whatever it is that's out there that's telling our client stuff, or AI is telling them, we're the ones with the answer, right? We're the ones with the knowledge. That's why we trained. Yeah. So we had Kobe and we talked to Kobe, didn't we, about having his business and growth within the business and communication and connection with clients. And so he has these people coming back, yes, for their bodies, yes, for that reason, but also for that interaction, for that personal feeling between the practitioner and the client. So if you're in the strategy lab, what we're leading to is the difference between the answer and the result. Here in the public side, I'm going to let you be the manager of that and the thinker of that. What is the difference between my answer to the person's problem and the result that I'm giving them? Okay, so we're talking about the answer and the result here. So because we need to be able to reframe AI conversations, we need to be able to reframe what they're hearing from other people with clear measure of what actually proves your impact for them. And the reason they're coming to you and separate, we could have always Googled the answer. Anyone can Google the answer, but how to Google the answer long before AI. It's just AI jumps in ahead of everybody now and offers answers in a different way. So we have to offer answers to get into the algorithm, because the algorithm is now providing answers but it also provides links, doesn't it? So we need to be providing answers, but always providing that that individual person that's going to individually help you, because we are meeting you and we have that knowledge. So clients are self-diagnosing. They've been doing that forever and ever since, I don't know, the wheel was invented. They've been self-diagnosing. And they're doing that before they book with you. And then they come to us, they've self-diagnosed, or they've gone to a GP and they've diagnosed, or their friend has diagnosed them, or their AI has diagnosed them. And then we're left looking at them going, well, is actually that the right thing? And yet we have to acknowledge what they've done. We have to acknowledge their research, right? Everybody's on a budget. Cost of living crisis. There's always been a cost of living crisis. When hasn't it been expensive? I was watching I was on TikTok. I do a little bit of TikTok. I was on TikTok the other day, and this guy was like, billionaires are worried about, paying tax. What about getting another job? I just thought, go get another job, pay your taxes with that. That's what billionaires say to everybody else, don't they? But so money's always been tight. Money has never not been tight. If anything, it's easier to organize now because we do have credit cards. We do have capacity, if we're paid fortnightly, to work things out on a fortnightly basis. So in a way, although things, yes, have got more expensive, salaries may or may not have gone up. Let's not get into that discussion. The simple fact is it's easier to organize our funds now than it ever has been before. It's easier to budget because AI can help you budget. This is how much I'm earning and this is what I want to eat. It will actually be able to help you to budget that money, and that would therefore budget you as well. So there's a lot of pressure with cost of living. There's the client, they can get the free answer. They can watch their dollars, but they're still coming to see you. They've still booked in, and we still have to be the answer and the result for them. Okay. So everybody has an answer. Everybody's wanting to diss you and what you know and what you've learned. Well, that's what it feels like sometimes. Not everybody is. It's incredible how they'll diss what you know and then they'll ask you for advice. But anyway, what is a free answer? They get AI, but there's no follow-up with a free answer. There's no follow-up with ordering whatever it is you want online. There's no tailored protocol or tailored system when you just buy things randomly or pop into a pharmacy and buy something off the shelf or the supermarket or wherever it is. So that's the gap between knowing and doing, all right, which was May's thing. But that's also where we are now, isn't it? We've done our money. We're about to move, this is our mid-year recalibration is where we are right now. And in August, I've got a piece of the paper here. In August, we're moving into leadership and identity. And this is where we're leading into by reframing ourselves and understanding that we are the tailored option. We are we're not going to cut their clothes. We're not going to tailor their clothes for them. We are the tailored option for their lifestyle, their health, and what they need. Okay? So the work that we do, nobody's measuring what we do in clinic, and the answer is free for them if they do it on AI. But we are providing that individualized service. And you have to remember that we are treating the individual, we are treating their lifestyle. We're looking at the big gamut. AI is not. So we must remember that we cannot be spoiled. We shouldn't be punished. We shouldn't feel we're inadequate to AI. That's it. We should not feel that we are inadequate to Auntie, to AI, to Instagram or anything else. It is a way of knocking our confidence, but at the same time, we can use it to our advantage. And that they say, well, AI says or Google says. I was like, that's great, but Google hasn't got the whole picture and it hasn't sat down with you for 40 minutes or an hour or whatever it is to discuss what's going on with you. We will be going deeper into this in Strategy Lab because remember, this week is a week where there's a workbook. This is the week where there's more questions within the Strategy Lab. Remember, there's once a fortnight, there's a workbook and the information, and then the alternate week. So next week, there'll be what I call the encourager. And that's because that's what I do with my clients. If you remember, a weight loss Thursday, I saw them once a month and then I had the encourager every week. I made it personal and I made it supportive to them and their individual problems. I didn't let them go on to Weight Loss Thursday, as exciting as that sounds, such a good name, until we dealt with their health issues, or a lot of their health issues, but obviously health issues are to do with weight as well. So we now have to think, I'm going to let you sit here in public podcast land with the thought, the last person who said to me, AI says, or Google told me, or when I looked it up, how are you replying to that emotionally? How are you replying to that verbally? And how are you replying to that physically? So emotionally, do you get upset when they say that? Do you tense up? And what do you say because you've got upset and you've tensed up? Are you then emotional? Google doesn't know what it's talking about. Or what are you saying? How are you coming to that answer and supporting your client with your answer when they've used that line? Okay. So we're going to go deeper into Strategy Lab. So Strategy Lab people, lock in. Hopefully you are heading in there, or you're listening to this in the vault anyway, because you've subscribed. You've got the reminder that it's there. If you subscribe to the podcast, you'll get the reminder that it's also in Strategy Lab along with the workbook for you. So those that aren't, you should do that. You should do that. The link to join Strategy Lab is in the show notes. So just scroll on down. So for those in the Strategy Lab, let's get into this. See you in podcast world. I'll see you next week for your encourager. Thank you for joining me. If you want to, it's time to do a review maybe, you could say, or you can email me with your review directly, geraldine@mentoringwithgeraldine.biz, and tell me how you're finding the change, because I think I'm still giving public podcast world as much information in a shorter form now as I was before. It's just Strategy Lab who were getting this content are getting their content in a different way and in a more logical way. So you can email me if you'd rather. If it's negative, email me. If it's positive, scroll down on your app on your phone and if it's positive, and give me 5 stars and say thank you very much. So I'll catch up with you next time. See you next week. Bye.
Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. Bye for now.